Hi everyone. Do you like my hair? Because it's probably gonna go away if I don't get a cold cap. I received news today that the cancer is back. It's on my liver. In March, my CA-125 went up. Normal is less than 30. I think it was 60 or 70. I can't remember the details. And then we waited 3 months to see if it would go up again, and it did. It doubled to about 180 something, and then I got a PET scan. The PET scan did not look like cancer. It was inconclusive according to my oncologist and the radiologist that read it. Well, the radiologist that read it officially said it did look like cancer, but then he chose his radiologist who he believes has more experience and said it did not, he would not have read it that way. And then because it was inconclusive, I got an MRI. The MRI radiologist also said it did look like cancer, but my doctor wasn't ready to believe that. So then I got a biopsy yesterday, and the results came back that it is metastatic ovarian cancer to my liver. It's a small area. It's like it's like 2 centimeters. It's an isolated mass, and he presented the plan today was just to go back on chemotherapy, not to do surgery. Surgery would keep me out of chemo for another 4 weeks so that I could heal, and then he didn't want to do that. He said, because it's so small, let's just go after it with chemotherapy. And I would do pretty much the same process I did last time, which is 1 infusion every 21 days. After the first 3 infusions, I would get another image to check on the tumor. And I believe no matter what, I'm still getting another 3, so a total of 6 cycles again. I was crying a lot, so I couldn't really ask a lot of questions or clarify things, because I was just like, at first I was just like silent and listening and trying to remember everything he was saying, and then all of a sudden I just started crying. It finally caught up to me, had my little delayed reaction, as I often do. And so we're gonna go back at it. I'm looking at ways to try to save my hair this time, just because those in-between phases they're a lot of work, and I don't really like doing a lot of work when growing out the hair. So I'm gonna try that, or I'm actually looking into maybe getting a wig this time too. So I'm gonna see if I can work or not. I don't know. I have an ostomy this time that's gonna create more problems for dehydration. I was very dehydrated the first time. It's very hard to stay hydrated with chemo. It's hard to stay hydrated with an ileostomy. So I'm gonna be asking for a fluid protocol as well, so that I can either have someone come to my house and give me fluids every day for a few days, or that I can drive if I'm well enough to drive. Ovarian cancer treatment is not that harsh. It builds up over time. I remember the first treatment, I went walking a few days later, and it was no big deal. I just felt a little bit more like burning of the muscles. And then next, like every time I would do it, I would just get a little bit more sick for longer, where the last round, after the 6th round, I think I was sick for about 2 weeks, and I didn't feel very well. So that's when you don't have an ostomy, an ileostomy specifically. With an ileostomy, I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated. I'm not really sure. I just had a thought. There was something I wanted to, I want to try and work with like functional people again, to maybe maintain some muscle mass, or make sure that my body doesn't break down as much as it did, as it can do. Chemo can be very hard on your muscles. So I did some things, took some supplements and things to help me maintain my muscles so they wouldn't be so affected. Oh, look at lots of food. Keeping it real here. So I'm gonna try to do something like that, where and my muscles are not so affected this time around. A few months ago, or maybe a couple months ago, I was thinking like if it ever came back, I was just gonna let it take me over, because I just was not doing well mentally, and started working on the floor again, and it was really stressful, and I wasn't managing it well. But worked with a psychiatrist to help manage my mood a little bit better, and my gosh, it's so much better. So I feel like I can actually take on something a little bit heavier now, actually a lot heavier than I would have maybe a month or two ago. So this is just my plug for take care of your mental health. It's not your fault, like what happens to you, or if you're not able to cope with things. Things can be better. They can be better. Go and ask for support. Go and ask for help. It's not a character flaw. It's trauma, it's chemical imbalances, it's all of that. There is some work you have to do on your own, and reframing your own thoughts. So working with a therapist or a social worker or a counselor or something like that could just solidifies the whole treatment plan together, because you just taking the medicine doesn't change the way you think. It gets you in a more uplifted mood, so you can actually utilize those practices of changing the way that you think about the world and how you exist in it. That's my plug for mental health, as it always is. Just take care of yourself. Since doing that for myself, I am more motivated to go exercise and not sleeping as much. I was like constantly sleeping, just like was very dysfunctional, and I just thought, oh, this is just how it's got to be. And you start to think that way, but then you meet with your team, and you get the nudge to go back to your team and ask for a different solution, and whoop, there you go, you feel a lot better now. So I highly recommend doing that. The world is not a terrible place. It's not a scary place. If you're feeling that all the time, I would recommend going and talking to someone, or maybe changing your regimen or something like that. It is not your character. It is just something going on inside your body, or a trauma. All right, guys. I'll keep you posted. This really sucks. I definitely cried a lot today. I feel a lot better when I talk about things. I haven't talked about anything or posted anything in a few months, because I was just waiting to see what we're actually talking about. And yeah, it is back. So on the liver is usually not a good thing. As I learn, I'll tell you more. I am going to be going and getting a new port. Yay, I hate those things. But I get to get a new port. I get to get a new port, and I get to treat this again, and I get to do those things. I lived that long so that I could get to have the opportunity should it arise again, and it has, unfortunately. Take care of yourselves, hug your loved ones. You never know what's going to happen in this world, so just try to be as content as possible. I don't like to say the word happy, because I just think that's unrealistic. But content is a wonderful place to be, so strive for that. Thanks. Take care.